Trimble.
And I'm Richard Harper.
I'm Alejandro Santoyo.
A straw wrapper.
I wrote a few lines on a piece of plywood one time. Or like particle board, not plywood. That's it.
I was born a sinner and naked into this.
Probably Matt Mennel, the guitarist for a band called Clear Plastic Masks.
I don't call them journals. I call them diaries.
Diaries. You don't read the diary of Matt
Well,
Mennel?
I think diaries is the feminine form of journal. I think people should use that.
You want to read a man's diary, so which man?
Yeah,
would it
but I feel like
'Cause
guys
that would be a
have
good
this
combination
complex
of
about
both.
journals, but they're really just diaries.
be? Right.
So journal, you think, is like a psychologically speaking
To make
term
you,
of
to make you feel better,
better about
term.
writing things. So you embrace your
Oh, yeah. Can I read your journal?
journal.
I just think diaries get a bad rap from males.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll be the first one to stand with you on that. Diaries.
All right. So whose diary?
Whose diary do you want to read?
I don't know whose diary we would read from toilet.
I kind of don't want to read any man's diary, to be honest, except my own, and be like, dude, you're dumb.
Yeah, even
diary.
I read all my own diaries.
I would
the
never
other
want to
day,
read
and I was
anyone's.
like,
There's the answer to the
"Jeez
question.
Louise."
I would never want to read anyone's
Even
diary.
like,
ever.
I would never want to
Suck.
read
Kurt
any
Cobain's
man's diary.
diary.
Terrible.
Whenever that came out, I was like, oh, cool, this would be fun to read. And I was like, this is. Why did they publish this? Doodles. Sketchbooks would be cool.
I get down.
Yeah, that's cool.
I saw a painting and sketch exhibit by Bob Dylan in London.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And the Shakes have an awesome, ongoing sketchbook on in their bust that's pretty solid gold.
I have a drawing that Brittany and Zach did of a guy with jaundice, and they combined on it, and it's great. I had it. You wrote a song usually in an isolation chamber because you want to start just from here to bring it out.
Mm-hmm. I like being in a very vulnerable situation with my body. You know, if I'm in a steam room or I haven't eaten for X amount of hours, I like to keep going with it and let my mind process things.
I always write whenever I'm posing for modeling classes.
That's great.
That's a good time to write.
All the best songs come.
After they sculpt you, you write on the sculpture sometimes?
I did do that one time.
Yeah.
I do it when I'm mad, I do it when I'm very sad or very happy.
Heightened emotional states.
But when I'm just normal, like cruising through, I'm like, fuck
Not so
writing.
much.
I don't want to write right now.
God, I'm not that organized.
I don't. Yeah.
It seems
pretty
pretty
much
egotistical.
any song that I find an old. Well, I have some notebooks, but I actually have the receipt for the first guitar I bought.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's kind of like a weird thing I've kept on through. It's in my toolbox, so I just never,
Never
never
go in.
throw out like stuff in the tool.
I mean, I do have old stuff, and it's like from 4 years ago. That's probably the oldest thing I have.
Mm-hmm.
But there's songs that took me 2 years to develop because I'm not like a writer or anything. Like, with music and stuff, you're gonna critique your own stuff like all the time, and I'm just like, no, it's just the process of like, oh, those words were cool, and then there's other things where you're like. So I tend to throw things out.
Been forgiven a sinner, I still.
For serious, there's a poet named Frank Bedart that I like a lot.
That's pretty
And he's awesome.
on point.
Yeah, he has many collections of poetry that can influence you in a visual way or in a writing way. He's great. We got to see him speak one time when he came to Nashville.
What's the unbearable lightness of being, guys?
Milan Kundera.
Yeah,
Milan Kundera is very good.
That he's the jam.
I like Rene Descartes, the philosopher. I
Descartes'
think the stuff he says. And Aldous Huxley too is cool.
Carl
Some of
Jung.
Carl Jung is great. Robert Anton Wilson.
Carl Sagan's cool too.
Carl Sagan's tight.
Dude, what he writes.
Carl Sampson. Carl
Steve
Jung.
Jobs.
Carl's Jr.
Carl Jr.